Hey everyone, I'm Brad and I'm here to tell you a story. This one took place 1982. This one involves my middle sister Denise, who's 3 years older than me. My dad had just taken a job the previous summer up at Dayton Christian, where he had been working at Landmark Christian, where we had gone to school. Well, when he took the job, that was the summer before Denise's senior year. So here she is, 1 year left in school, and she's leaving all of her friends behind. So she gets up to Dayton Christian, she makes a group of friends. Okay, so that's point one. Point two, here's the second point of the story. The summer before we moved up there, or we started going to school up there, my dad bought a 1965 Buick Special Sedan. Now, these cars were huge. It could seat 6 comfortably. It had a bench seat in the back, a bench seat in the front, a great big huge engine. When he bought this car, it was in prime condition. Like it looked like it had just rollen off the factory, even though it was like 16 years old or however old it was when he got the car. So this thing was just a gorgeous car. So Denise had her friends down for the weekend. She got this brilliant idea. They had hearing us talk about Landmark, the school we used to go to. And it was a school, coincidentally enough, that Dayton Christian would play in sports. They would play them in basketball every year. So, they wanted to go see what the school was like. And Landmark, honestly, the campus is still there. The church is still there. The school has since ceased operation, but the buildings are still there. You can go and see how beautiful this campus is. So Denise was like, yeah. So she went in, got the keys from Dad. They go hop in the Buick, and they drive down to school. Well, on the way, it starts snowing, and it starts snowing harder and harder. And so Denise pulls onto the campus there, and as she's starting to drive around the student building, which is like this L-shaped building that had these big stone walls on them. She's starting to drive around one side and loses control of the car, and it slams into the building, totaling the car. She hit the stone wall head on. And I don't know if you've ever seen a crash between a car and a big pile of rocks. Usually the car loses. The Buick lost in a horrible way, just totally caved in the entire front of the car. And Denise is freaking out. She's like, I don't know what happened. 1 minute I'm driving, next minute I know I'm slamming into the wall. I don't even remember hitting the wall. And so, she has to make that phone call to my dad. The police are there. No one was injured, thank God. No one was hurt, but the car. And Denise wasn't feeling too good. She calls Dad and says, you got to come and get me. I had a wreck, and Dad's worried about her. He goes, he picks Denise up, and he's like, what's wrong? And Denise said, well, I don't know. I must have blacked out. Well, Dad heard the words blackout. And he's like, well, if you blacked out, then something is really wrong. So he takes Denise to the doctor, and the doctor examines her and comes to the conclusion that, yeah, Denise could not have only blacked out. She was very sick. She had a pretty advanced case of mononucleosis, and all of her lymph nodes, her entire body, her lymph system was swollen up, 4 times normal size, and from the infection from the mono. And Dad asked the doc, hey, could that have caused her to black out? And the doc was like, yeah, that could have caused her to black out. It probably did. All she had to do is turn her head the wrong way and she's going to black out. So Denise was like, well, what do I do? How do you recover from mono? And doc says, well, there's only one thing you can do, and it's rest. And the best place to rest is someplace where it's warm and sunny. Not exactly Cincinnati, Ohio in the month of January. So we had some friends that had just moved to Miami, Florida, and they had a really nice house down there with a swimming pool. So Dad calls them and says, hey, do you mind if Denise comes down and stays with you guys for a while? And they were like, yeah, how long? Dad sent Denise down there for an entire month. She got to go down and lay out in the sun around a swimming pool in South Florida and do nothing. Skip school for a month, and it was totally excused because she was recuperating from mononucleosis. So that, kids, that is how you get a free trip to Florida. You wreck your dad's antique car. I'm Brad. Thanks for listening to the story.